And now, Atlanta fight fans, please welcome the Atlanta Georgian, Paul the Truth Delgado. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's go fight time! Promoter Greg Barkoff of Sports Fan Properties and Sports Radio 680 The Fan presents tonight's big Rockout 4 main event of the evening. 10 3-minute rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. This bout is being brought to you by Crystal Head Vodka, Representative Todd Wynn, Tecate with Representative Joe Fitzpatrick, and Chevrolet with Representative Kurt Escher. This bout is being brought to you by and sanctioned by the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, Chairman J.J. Biello, and Executive Director Andy Foster. The IBF and USBA Supervisor on hand from Richmond, Virginia is Mr. Von LePrad. Introducing first the judges scoring the bout from ringside, Mr. Troy Stamey from Rossman, North Carolina, Richard Sells from Georgia, and Miss Nola Oliver, also of Georgia. The official time and bellkeeper for the bout is Mr. John Matlock, and your ringside physician is Dr. Douglas Harkrider. Ladies and gentlemen, when the bell rings and the action begins, the referee in charge of the action is going to be Mr. William Clancy from Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, from the World Congress Center, are you ready? Introducing the fighter standing in the blue corner. He wears the white trunks trimmed in black and stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He tipped the scales at officially 147 pounds with a record of 13 wins and 12 losses, representing Sweet Science Training Center out of Vero Beach, Florida, and fighting out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Please welcome Classy Chris Gray. And now, introducing the warrior standing in the red corner. He wears the white trunks trimmed in green and stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in officially 147 pounds with a record of 24 wins, 10 losses, and 1 draw. Representing Delgado Boxing and fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Camp Verde, please welcome Paul the Truth Delgado. We go to the center for the referee's instruction from Mr. William Clancy.
All right, gentlemen, we already went through the rules in the back. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times, and gentlemen, you must obey my commands. Now, we're scheduled for 10 rounds for the IBF USBA Southern Region welterweight title. Your trunks right here are fine. Paul, I want all the punches above the line. Paul, your trunks are very high. I'm going to allow everything on the band that's a legal punch. Let's touch gloves now. Good luck. God bless.
Come on, Atlanta. Let's make some noise on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on, Atlanta.
Thank you, Adam Gibbs. The main event is here. Vince Ferrara, Xavier Biggs on the call of our main event tonight for the IBF USBA Southern Regional Welterweight Championship. The title on the line, Paul Delgado, the Atlanta product in the white trunks with the green trim. DelgadoBoxing.net on the backside. Classy Chris Gray in the white trunks with the black trim. These two fighters, veteran fighters. Paul has been fighting for 12 years. Even had a feature on him on CNN. And you know, Xavier, you actually started him in it as a pro.
Yes, I did. I had him for his first 5 fights. He was undefeated, actually, in his first 5 fights. But, you know, I had to leave town and had to change my situation. But, you know, when I came back, I think he started working with some other people and kept his career going.
Paul obviously has Delgado Boxing Gym, trains in there, has boxers. What do you think of the balance between operating and running a gym and also continuing your pro career and the time it takes to do both?
Well, obviously, it depends on the individual. And obviously, it looks like Paul is finding a solution. So far, he's been pretty successful with what he's been doing. It looks like he's getting ready to get his career kick-started again. And he's in pretty good shape, and he looks pretty focused.
Paul Delgado has won his last 4 fights after a very controversial 12-round unanimous decision loss back in 2009 to Vitaly Demidenko, who was unbeaten, and that was in Raleigh. And Paul still talks about that fight. And ever since then, he has been fighting in Atlanta and part of the big Rockout series, including here tonight. So he's won 4 straight since then. Staying here locally in Atlanta and looking to move back up the rankings. What do you see early on, Xavier, with the 2 fighters?
Well, I see the same thing that I seen from the very beginning, you know, when I used to work with Paul. The determination.
The heads collided there, Xavier. Sorry.
Oh, wow, I missed that one. But, yeah, he's determined and, you know, he's focused. He looks like he's in good shape. One thing I look at, I always notice the fighters, I look in their eyes, and, you know, you can see what's going on watching their eyes. And this Chris Gray, I get the feeling that he's not that sure, you know what I mean? But I can see Paul just seem a little bit more focused.
Well, Xavier, you're seeing both of them really come together. They're timing it, they're charging at the same time together.
Yeah, that happens.
William Clancy, the referee, breaks the 2 a lot quicker than we've seen Brian Stutz and Jim Korb break up fighters in our earlier fights here tonight. Our 8th and final fight, our main event, final seconds of this first round. Chris Gray connects Paul Delgado, and then they come together and clinch. And one last flurry, maybe even a punch after the bell. The Atlanta fans enjoyed that first round here with local boxer Paul Delgado.
The Big Rock and main event is being brought to you by Tecate, Crystal Head Vodka, and Chevrolet.
Edge for that. They both seemed a little tight, which is normal though. And it looked like Paul hurt him actually in that last punch before the bell rang. So when a fighter's tight in the beginning, I always say the easiest time to hurt a fighter is the beginning, the fight, and the end of the fight. Because in the beginning,
here comes Miss Georgia Kaylin.
You know, they wore it out, so they're more vulnerable. But that's why I think Chris Gray got a little hurt at the end of that first round.
This is a 10-round welterweight fight, obviously, for the Southern Regional IBF USBA title. Chris Gray has not gone past 8 rounds in his career, while Paul Delgado has gone 10, 12, 12, so he's gone past that 3 times. It's a 10-round fight tonight. Is that enough of a difference to where if this goes a long distance, it might give Paul an edge?
Well, I think that has to do a lot with the look in the eye. Chris didn't look that sure, you know what I mean? Paul's definitely been in that territory a few times, so he's nothing uncomfortable about it, you know what I mean? But he might, like I said, the first round was a little tight just from the nerves, you know what I mean? But he's starting to loosen up a little better now.
I tell you what, Xavier, when we saw Chris Gray beat Gerald Jordan at the Big Rockout 3, Chris looked very similar to the way he does now. You said the word unsure.
Yeah.
But then eventually he found his way. He saw some vulnerability in Gerald's game. Probably not vulnerability he's going to see from Paul Delgado, but he figured it out during.
Right. Well, you know, you can be unsure in the beginning. And if you know, you can see his shot. You know, during the fight, you'll gain your confidence.
Paul
Don't look like he's going to give him no confidence, though.
Couple rights connecting from Paul Delgado. And nice counter that goes to the body. And Paul, in talking to him, he wants to work the body. He's been working hard. He wants to go upstairs, downstairs, upstairs. Really wants to work those levels on Chris Gray because he thinks he'll adjust his hands to where Paul's working.
Yeah. One thing about it, I'm very strong on the body shots. You know, the body shots, it sets everything up. You know, actually, I think the body shots are way more effective than headshots. It sets up for the headshot. In a 10-round fight, is there, that's something that you want to get your early work in on the body? At what point in a 10-round fight will the body, do you have to put in the work early? At what point does that start to take effect, do you think? Well, it depends on the conditioning of the fighter, but eventually it's going to take effect no matter what. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just depends on how long it will, and depending on the conditioning of the fighter. I always, you know, tell my fighters to work the body early. It's just like putting money in the bank.
Right.
You may get your withdrawals later on.
But do you tell them later in a fight that, you know, hey, now's the time to put them away because you've already done the work in the body?
Yeah, you know, it will show in the fight when it's time to go upstairs.
Right.
Usually, even when you hurt a fighter, when you get them hurt, you should go right down to the body because sometimes, you know, fighters got a lot of sparring and their instincts are sharp. You can tap them and wake them back up. So you want to make sure you get them a good body shot so you can set up for a clean shot and get them out of there.
We're in the second round of our main event here tonight at the Big Rock Out 4. Final seconds of the second round. Paul Delgado has been able to hit some flush jabs, connect clean, and both exchange punches to the body. Paul, one last flurry there, and William Clancy steps in. What do you think about that second round? Who just scored that to, Xavier?
That round was a little closer.
Yeah.
I would think, you know, it looked pretty even. But I would give Paul Delgado a slight edge on that one. It could go either way.
What about ring generalship? Is there much of a difference between the two right now?
I could see where Paul has a little bit more ring generalship, you know. And but this Chris Gray, you know, you can't go to sleep on him because the way he's fighting, he's definitely got a chance. Paul
Once again, your representative for Tecate tonight are Joe Fitzpatrick.
Paul talked about it.
Crystal Head Vodka is being represented tonight by Mr. Todd Wynn. And your Chevrolet representative is Mr. Kurt Escher. The Big Rock Out would like to thank Tecate Chevrolet and Crystal Head Vodka for sponsoring the main event of the evening.
Some nice upper body movement, some head movement. I was kind of impressed by that. And I'll see how he's kind of setting his punches up. It seemed like he could crack a little bit.
All right, we got a timeout here. I think
they spilled the water, the buckets, a bunch of water in the corner.
Go to opposite corners. What do you think Jesse Becerra and Nathan Livramento told Paul Delgado there in the corner?
Well, if it was me, I would have told him to relax more and work off the jab and just work combinations. This guy seems like he wants to pull him into a punch. You see that?
Yeah.
So I would circle him and work the jab and quick combinations. And see, that type of thing will give this guy more confidence once you start fighting his fight. So you got to keep him from being confident. Fighting your own fight.
Paul missed with a left. What do you see in the eyes? Has that changed from the first round?
I see where Chris is starting to get a little bit more confidence. Because I think Paul is fighting his fight. He's trying to match him punch for punch.
Not seeing the clash of heads, but both guys are starting to. And then an elbow warning to Chris Gray from William Clancy. But both guys really coming after each other. Timing, there was a bump in the heads, and Clancy recognizes that.
Yeah, they coming straight in to each other.
Yeah. Oh, Paul got caught.
I would like to see more finesse from Paul. More jabs, more movement. This is this guy's fight. He's a puncher. You got a boxer puncher. Puncher boxer.
Excuse me, Xavier. Is Chris getting a better read on Paul's plan and punches?
I think that's what's happening.
Vince Ferrara, Xavier Biggs ringside here in our main event. Paul the Truth Delgado and Classy Chris Gray. 10-round welterweight fight for the Southern Regional welterweight title. Oh, Chris Gray connect.
Paul has to use his jab and move around this guy and keep him off balance.
Looks like the confidence level is picked up from Chris Gray.
Yes, he did. Sometimes when you're in front of your hometown crowd, it can take you off your game a little bit. You know what I mean? And you can fall into your opponent's game. So in the corner, I would tell Paul to stick to his game and outbox this guy. Work his jab, keep him getting angles.
Little combination from Paul, and now trying to follow up. Chris Gray backs up and then regathers. Against Chad Greenleaf at the Big Rock Out 3, Paul had some moments where you could tell he was clearly the better fighter, but there were still opportunities there for Chad, and then Paul finally kind of put him away when he figured things out and ended that fight.
Well, you know, one thing about it, a true champion always find a way to win. There's no doubt. When your mind is set to win, you're going to find a way. And Paul seems determined, and he got time to make the proper adjustment.
Final seconds here, this third round. Oh, Chris Gray connects, and Paul wanted to keep going. What about that?
Chris Gray looked like his confidence is coming up a level. He's making it a good, entertaining fight.
Would you give him that third round?
I think that fight, that round, I give him a nod on that one. A slight nod.
Interesting.
How many people are going to join us tonight at the Havana Club?
Fans seem a little uneasy.
Come on now, we're going to have more than that. We're all going to the Havana Club, if you didn't know it. You can party with fighters and fans alike tonight at the Havana Club at Buckhead, where your admission is free with your Big Rock Out ticket.
With a flurry at the end.
You might even get a chance to see Miss Jeanette there tonight.
The fight before this was a great matchup of undefeated fighters, and you know, it's a good thing that Greg's doing and bringing up this local talent, and he's doing a good job.
Give me your quick word on Gradovich, who won that last fight.
Oh, actually, me and Don Turner are very good friends, and I was going to send one of my fighters to spar with this kid. And Don Turner was like, I don't think so. You know what I mean? He said, if you like this kid, don't send him.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I tell you the story about this kid right now. He said he's another Salvador Sanchez.
Wow.
But he showed it. He's a beast in there.
Yep. So versatile, relentless.
I heard he had a pretty good amateur career. He's a tough kid. He's going to be a champion.
I mean, fast track. They just turned him pro in March, I think, of this year, and he had a fight virtually every month.
That's how you do it. That's how they did it with the old timers. That's the way it's done. Don Turner's a master.
What are you seeing here early in this fourth round?
Well, these fighters are pretty loosened up now. You know what I mean? It's a good entertainment fight. Me personally, I want to see more finesse. I would like to see more finesse.
Oh, right hand, left.
That was good right hand. Good right hand. Good right hand lead by Paul.
What about the midsection pad? Oh, a nice combination there by Chris Gray on the counter.
See, this fight here is getting to the point that it can go either way because they both banging. They both inside, you know, it's like the battle of the wills.
Oh, and Gray, is he going to go down? Are they going to rule it? No, they're going to say it's a slip.
He's hurt, though. He's hurt. He lost control of his legs. I think it was a shot inside the temple. He's trying to get Paul should jump on him right away.
Paul not
trying to get it together.
David, Paul not jumping on him, though, here.
Yeah, I think he's a little skeptical because he's not sure. But you can look in his legs. He don't have his legs under him.
Paul may have let Chris Gray off the hook there.
Yeah, looks like that's what happened. So when you're in shape, you're going to come back. This kid obviously did his homework.
No break. There it is from William Clancy. Paul Delgado, overhand right. Couldn't find a home for the uppercut. Works the body. Gray tying up Paul and get a break from William Clancy.
So them body shots.
Paul doing enough to the body.
Yeah, that's, you know, he threw some good body shots in there.
Now just kind of pawing. Yeah.
That was it.
He pawed, didn't really even connect, just kind of feels way.
Yeah, he got his attention away from the body with the jab and set it up.
Well, I'm surprised that there's only been one real true clash of heads the way these two are coming forward at each other.
Right.
A lot of swinging and missing over the top. Final seconds of this 4th round. Wow, another close round, Xavier.
Oh, no doubt that was Paul's round, though. That was a good round for Paul.
All right, so you have Paul winning the 1st, 2nd, and 4th, and then Chris winning the 3rd. So 3 rounds to 1.
Right.
So tell us about some of your fighters and who you're working with right now. Bring everybody up to date on some of your stable of guys.
Zaire Rahim,
Yep.
of course. He was scheduled to fight in Oklahoma in November, but the whole show got canceled. So he's getting a lot of calls right now. And he's just trying to pick and choose to see what's the right move to make. But he's getting some calls from some top caliber fighters. Also, I got some young kids coming up. Actually, I was going to.
If you haven't stopped by the Mix One booth, you need to make your way by there before you leave tonight. All natural protein shakes and pre-workout fuel, the post-workout recovery. Their mission is to change people's lives by promoting athletic performance and overall health.
And Zahir put on quite a show in the main event of the Big Rockout 3. And certainly lived up to his expectations. Did you see what you wanted out of Zahir's fight the last time out?
Everything went through the game 100%.
Yeah.
You know, he fought this guy before. This guy was a durable guy, 100 fights. Nobody very rarely knocked this guy out. You know, it did a lot for Zaire to go to take, you know, get rid of that guy.
Paul the Truth Delgado and classy Chris Gray in our main event here tonight, the Big Rockout 4. Crowd may be a little bit uneasy about Paul here, although Xavier, you have him up 3 rounds to 1. What are you seeing here in this 5th round so far?
See, this what Paul doing now, a little finesse. That's what he needs with this guy. That's what he needs, finesse. You know, Paul's making the proper adjustment, just like I said earlier. A champion finds a way to win. He makes the proper adjustment, whatever's necessary to win in the fight. And the finesse is what's going to help Paul in this fight.
With Chris Gray kind of ducking as much as he does and then kind of staying down at times, could that open up an opportunity for Paul?
Definitely. Paul can throw the hook over to the side. He can step around him and throw the uppercut, right hand over top. He'll never see it coming. He looked like he's starting to break this kid's will a little bit. Paul is. I think that's what Paul's determination looked like. He just wanted to break this guy's will. But me, I like the finesse better.
Yeah. Finesse and body.
Yeah, there you go.
And Chris Gray, wow, goes to the body and then up top, some looping shots.
I can see that this Chris Gray is a puncher, though.
Gray
so
now.
Paul got to be very careful with a guy like this.
Loosening up the shoulders a little bit, and Gray at least trying to show that he's confident in there right now.
Yeah. Conditioning is going to tell a lot for this fight. This is a grueling fight, toe-to-toe grueling fight. Conditioning is going to tell a lot.
Jab by Paul on Chris Gray. Then again, they charge forward at the same time. Paul, nice combination, working those levels. What the game plan was coming in.
Yeah, Paul looks a little stronger.
Ooh, Xavier, he just missed on that overhand shot when Gray was ducked down.
Right.
Oh, right hand finds the middle of the face of Chris Gray. Final seconds of this round. See if Paul can finish with a flurry, and then that will be the final bell of the round. But Paul, little high step jog back to the corner.
Yeah, I get that round to Paul. That was a good round.
We're 5 rounds into this 10-round welterweight fight for the IBF USPA Southern Regional welterweight title. Vince Ferrara, along with legendary boxing trainer Xavier Bad Pads Biggs, with us here for our main event tonight. The Big Rock Out 4 at the Georgia World Congress Center on GoFightLive.tv. If you missed the earlier fights tonight, it will be archived. So if you're in the house or you were away and just joined us late, you can go back and watch all of the fights free at GoFightLive.tv from tonight's Big Rock Out 4 here in Atlanta. Great stuff from you also in the Ring of Honor ceremony for Buddy and Bo Davis. I mean, genuine words from you.
It was great, man. They're some beautiful people. My favorite boxing people in Atlanta.
And a break here. Oh, Paul, after the break. It's almost
got instinctive move.
Yeah.
I think Paul wants to make a statement tonight.
Fans trying to get a little chant going. They've been fairly quiet for a main event. They've been a little rowdier and louder than a lot of our earlier fights. There's a nice right, but Delgado shrugs it off, says no.
He blocked that one with the left.
Gray went uppercut on Paul. Upper body movement from Gray. Nice combo. Oh, Gray stumbles into the ropes and into the Tecate sign. Actually, it's a Chevrolet sign, my bad.
Look like they kind of taking a breather for this round. And Gray seems like he's trying to set Paul up.
What are you seeing here in this sixth round? They're starting to pick up the activity now.
Well, yeah, they're starting to pick it up now, and you know, it's back to battle of the wills.